Hey, this is DJ Moore, receiver for the University of Maryland, here on the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome, average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. Fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Fantasy football talk, Hateful Eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down, Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli, hold it down. Pulling up to LB Design Studio, we're getting loud. Season 2, headphones on, red light go, break it down.
Welcome back, guys, to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast with your host. I'm Pickle. With me, as always, Blackburn.
What's cracking?
And what is it, a three-peat? 3 times?
Yeah.
Trimboli is back again. We will continue to roll through the 2018 fantasy football offseason, and we'll be discussing major stories involving all that free agent frenzy. Well, most of it. We'll try to catch up as best we can. And we'll be also talking some way too early rankings for the wide receivers today. But more importantly, we do have a special guest joining us later in the show. It's going to be Maryland Terrapin wide receiver DJ Moore. So that was cool to get to interview him earlier today. So we want to tell you guys, don't forget to follow the show's Facebook and Twitter accounts, which is at the Hateful 8FF. And all right, got anything else, guys?
Nope, let's get rolling.
All right, let's get into the fantasy news and notes for today.
Fantasy news and notes.
All right, first one out the gate. Now, we all know that there's tons of them that happened over the last couple days. So
right.
We're not going to go into all the ones that have happened the past 3 days since everybody's leaking everybody's salary soon to be. So the big one we have out the gate is going to be ASJ. Austin Seferian-Jenkins is signed to a 2-year deal with the Jaguars. So now, didn't you just say Mercedes Lewis is still currently employed by the Jaguars?
At the moment.
So, yeah. So
more weapons for Bortles.
Yeah, $11 million for a 2-year deal worth $10 million, and he can make up to $11 million. My bad. So,
I mean,
yeah.
that helps him.
Yeah.
They're going to be predominantly run anyway, I think. But, I mean, he's a big target.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. So, and next one, Jordy Nelson signs a 2-year deal with the Raiders. So,
Spells the end of Crabtree.
well, don't worry, because we've got that one coming up right after this one. It's going to be Michael Crabtree is released by the Raiders. So,
Dun, dun, dun.
but yeah,
Too
apparently,
much money in that wide receiver group.
yeah, well, Jordy Nelson signs the 2-year deal worth $15 million with $13 million guaranteed. Kudos to him. $13 million guaranteed out of that.
I don't know. I kind of like Crabtree better.
I do. I
I
agree
mean, I
with
like
you.
Jordy Nelson, don't get me wrong, but he had that rapport with Aaron Rodgers. They were used to playing with each other and adjusting on the fly. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this with Derek Carr right away.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
I've always been a Crabtree fan, so.
Yeah. Let's see. So Michael Crabtree is released by the Raiders. So did we see he was visiting somebody here soon? Did we say that?
Yeah, he's actually got a visit lined up with the Baltimore Ravens tomorrow.
Well, there you go.
And they have no wide receivers, so.
They signed Washington's 4th-string wide receiver to big money. Ryan Grant.
I think it's kind of that if you don't spend it, you lose it. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I just think they're going to run the running back all day. No wide receivers.
Yeah, I guess. Let's see. Tyler Eifert is signed to a 1-year deal for the Bengals. So
What you got over there, resident Bengals fan?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
yeah.
I agree, Cotton. I have no idea what's going on here.
Well, we called it last year. We said he'd be hurt before week 4.
Yeah. So are we gonna put a wager on this one now? I mean, sorry, Tyler, if you do listen to the show, probably not, but we took a bet last year, and I said like maybe halfway through the season. You said like week 4.
Yeah, Thacker had it at like week 2.
He said like preseason week 3 maybe. So it made it pretty close.
I'm gonna give it to week 6, and then they're gonna rely on Croft.
Yeah. I think that's what we were all expecting to do.
Yeah. I just thought it was going to be Croft all day. This Eifert thing kind of surprised me.
Yeah. I don't know. Surprised.
It's the Bengals.
It's the Bengals.
What are we doing?
I guess. So, let's see. We've got Doug Martin, the muscle hamster, headed out west to the Raiders. Yeah, apparently he's signing with the Raiders, which pretty much tells you.
I mean, Marshawn's still on the roster right now. Right now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well,
Gruden likes
Until next show.
right. Stay tuned for next week's tight end show. We'll have an update for you.
Marshawn will be on his way out. Next one, A.J. McCarron signs with the Bills. So the Buffalo Bills have announced that they are signing the former Bengals. Oh, do we have something?
Breaking news here.
Well, hold on. Let's get that breaking news in here.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Cover your ears.
Breaking news.
The wide receiver that we just talked about, Ryan Grant, that was signed by Baltimore, failed his physical with the Ravens, and now the deal is null and void. So his $29 million deal is now down the drain.
Well, they need a run. They need a wide receiver.
I really want to press a drop, but I'm gonna hold tight to that one.
Drop it like it's hot. Just drop it.
Nope. I'm gonna stick close. I'm gonna stick close.
But so I mean that makes sense now why Crabtree is visiting there.
Tis true. Now they got money available. Trevor Siemian traded to the Vikings.
I actually like that.
I agree. I think it's a good deal for
He's a young
them.
kid, and he can sit behind Kirk Cousins, and they didn't have anybody else on the roster because all their free agents were signed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing for me is they do have a good quarterback now. So he has game as a starter, so he's not completely like green behind the ears, I guess you could say. Does anybody use that phrase anymore? Green behind the ears?
Well, you just did, so.
Okay, fair enough. Which means no in Blackburn terms. It means shut up.
Not really.
I guess it's better than nothing. I mean, who's their backup because Bradford's out west?
Yeah, I forget,
Bridgewater went east.
I forget the guy's name. He's a young guy. I don't know who it is. I'd be honest.
Yeah. Didn't he end up playing at some point? Like he came in for like a snap because somebody forgot their helmet or I don't know.
Possibly.
And then final one, I mean, there's plenty of other ones, but the big one, Rex Burkhead resigns with the Patriots, which I think that's a good thing for the Patriots.
Yeah, he turned it on last year. He proved me wrong. I said that, I wasn't a fan of Burkhead anyway, but he turned it on last year.
Yeah, wow. They let Deion Lewis go, so you kind of have to make up somewhere. And Gillislee's sitting on a beach collecting his fat cash from his check that he collected by week 1 or 2 and just never came back.
He had like 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks, and he was like, all right, I'm done.
All right, boys, I'm done.
Just shutting it down.
Right.
Taking my vacay early. So, let's see. What do we got? Do we got anything else for that? I don't think we got anything else.
There's a bunch of stuff that's happened.
I mean, the biggest ones, I guess, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on outside. Everybody knows about all the big ones that have already happened, so.
Right. We can edit this part out.
That's how you got anything?
I'm looking.
It's all right if we don't.
Lions and Frank Gore nearing a deal.
Yeah, I did see that one, so.
Bills added quarterback A.J. McCarron.
Yeah. All right, cool. Nothing major, though.
Lions cut Eric Ebron.
Okay, let's get into that one. How about that? That's one that I'm just kind of like shocked. I mean, I know that they are trying to get better options for Stafford, but Ebron wasn't bad.
No.
I mean, he wasn't horrible, I guess.
But what's funny is they cut him because they couldn't find a trade partner. So you're telling me that there's not a market out there for him? The asking price wouldn't have been high, I would assume.
No.
That's going to be the only thing I can think of. Maybe the asking price was high. Or maybe his contract, he wanted too much. I don't know.
True. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, he's got a visit scheduled to go to the Carolina Panthers.
Well,
So
we'll see.
That's pretty good. That could be a good target for Cam.
Okay, so let me ask you this. With Carlos Hyde being signed to the Browns and now Tyrod Taylor being signed to the Browns and Nate Soldier going to the Giants and you got Joe Thomas retiring. I don't know why I threw Nate Soldier in there, but randomly.
Soldier. He's not a soldier.
Anyways,
He's a football player.
He's not Kellen Winslow Jr.
No.
I'm a soldier. Anyways, do you think that now that leans more towards a quarterback, or do you think the Browns lean still towards Saquon like everyone expects them to? Or most should do, I should say.
You go ahead. I'll let you go on this one first.
I think they're going to go quarterback. Selfishly, for fantasy purposes, I'd like to see him go running back.
I think Fantasy Pros, if they went Saquon Barkley, I mean, then you got Hyde and Duke Johnson all there too. So
Well, I guess that's been the conversation is if they do take Saquon, I think that's their way of basically shipping out Duke Johnson. I've heard.
I would like to keep Duke. I like how they got Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson.
Oh,
set
I do
up right
as well.
now.
I'm just saying, if they do end up drafting Saquon, in my opinion, Duke Johnson's odd man out.
I think once they signed, well, obviously, but yeah, I think once they signed Carlos Hyde, I think that was writing on the wall that quarterback is coming with number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Sam. I heard of something on the radio earlier that says they love Sam Darnold, and if that's their guy, then they got to take him.
Right.
Okay. Well,
And they still got number 4 too. I mean,
I gotta take that back now. You're right. Duke Johnson was actually a PPR beast.
right?
he really was. I mean, that's
And
why
he's still young. I mean,
And that split with Hyde, that actually could be kind of nasty.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an upgrade from Crowell.
And then you
Hyde
bring-
is,
and then you-
in my
Anything's an
opinion.
upgrade from Crowell.
Well, yeah, that too. But then you bring in the viable passing options. Now you got Jarvis Landry, you got Josh Gordon, you got
Coleman, and Joku,
So
and
now there's an actual threat of a passing game with Tyrod's threat of running too. That's going to open up running lanes too for the Carlos
right.
Hyde.
Well, Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson both can play in that zone read type offense if they really wanted to.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it could be good. So, let's get into our second segment of the day, the fantasy draft table presented by Fantasy Fateball. Let's get into that.
Fantasy Draft Table.
All right, Fantasy Draft Table presented by Fantasy Fateball, the one and only Magic 8 Ball for fantasy football. 20 custom answers to help you make those critical start-sit decisions in the Sunday morning agony. Head over to fantasyfateball.com and get yourself a Fantasy Fateball Magic 8 Ball. It's pretty legit, so we'll
Do it.
do it. We do welcome in today wide receiver DJ Moore from the Maryland Terrapins into the fantasy draft table presented by Fantasy Fateball. So let's get into that. We welcome in today DJ Moore, wide receiver from the Maryland Terrapins, coming into the Fantasy Fateball draft table conversation. How are you doing today, DJ?
I'm doing well. Just got done a little workout.
Oh man, coming straight from the workout. That makes us feel
Yeah.
we're all sluggish over here. No, I don't think any of us hit the gym today or for a while, but we appreciate it. Apparently Trimboli's hit the gym today, so you guys I don't know if he hit the same workout though, but
I doubt it.
but I've got a couple questions for you, and then Blackburn's gonna have a couple, and then Trimboli's got a couple questions for you. So first question for me is gonna be, what was the whole combine experience as a player like, going through all the different interviews and meetings and just the actual combine events themselves?
It was kind of fun. I just had fun with it. Just to go into different meetings, meeting new people, like that was fun. Just to go meet all the coaches that you see on TV, and just to be interviewed by the teams that you been watching since you was growing up. But the whole combine, the actual day of the combine, that was fun. Just going out there and competing with everybody. Everybody was cheering each other on. It was just a good environment the whole day.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like everybody was kind of the team camaraderie. Even though I know you guys are all vying for an NFL job, it was cool to kind of see you guys high-fiving and patting each other on the back, moving through the different what do you want to call it, events. So, but Blackburn's got his first question for you, so I'll send it over to him.
Hey DJ, it's Blackburn man. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. My question is, do you think there's going to be a huge difference in the actual game speed going from college to the NFL?
Yeah. Well, once you learn the playbook, once you get the playbook down, then everything slow down. Just when you start to look at coverages and know what your assignment is. But going into it first, it probably is going to be a different speed. It's probably going to be fast because everybody already know what they're doing, and you're just coming in trying to go with the flow, but you're still behind.
Right.
All right, DJ, this is Trimboli. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hey, I got a question for you. Do you see yourself as a slot receiver or more on the outside?
I see myself doing a little both because I have both under my background. So just being able to do it both across the board, well, play every position across the board is something that I take pride in, just not one specific position.
Yeah, I can see that. Actually, looking over your college stats, you literally played every position. I mean, you were running it and throwing it sometimes.
Yeah, those are the little trick plays that we had and stuff, but it was fun. Just to show that I do have other abilities other than receiver.
Right.
All right, DJ. So currently, I mean, you just talked about that you just got done with the workout. So currently, what's your kind of preparation post-combine? Because I know everybody's prepping and practicing to do the actual combine and all the different events and getting the best times, best numbers. So going forward now, what is kind of like your daily routine Monday through Friday?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I lift full body lift on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday and Thursdays, I have conditioning. Then I throw routes with the quarterback that I'm using for a pro day.
Okay. Now, when's your pro day?
March 28th.
March 28th. Okay, that's cool. I think that's all I got. So I'll let Blackburn ask his next one.
I'm just going to switch it up a little bit here and get away from the numbers and everything. I just want to know, who was your favorite player growing up in the NFL as a kid?
I would have to say probably Randy Moss, because he just made things look easy.
Absolutely.
Like, it was just effortless.
Absolutely.
Indeed. All right, Treboy, I think's got another question for you as well. So,
I know you said Moss was your favorite player or someone you watched growing up. Do you model your game after anyone in particular?
No, I just go out there and play, be the playmaker that I am. But a lot of comps that I've been getting is like Jarvis Landry, Golden Tate, like people like that bring like the competitiveness from the receiver position and like yards after the catch. All
right. Yeah, I mean, we were actually looking at a website. It's the playerprofile.com, which actually shows that your best comparison were the two guys were Pierre Garçon and Stephon Diggs, a fellow Maryland Terrapin. So,
yeah,
but
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I bet you do. So, but I just thought we were looking at some of the stats and stuff like that, and then finding out you actually had 4 different quarterbacks that you played with last year. So, but not looking too bad with 8 touchdowns and over 1,000 receiving yards.
Yeah, that was just something that we overcame with the next man up mentality. Because before even the season came, we just made a rotation of all of them going with the 1s, the 2s, the 3s. So like I got a chance to just throw with all of them and know how they was going to go out there and throw the ball and where they was going to place the ball in certain situations.
All right. Now, I won't ask you like specific teams, but I'm sure you've been in contact with several teams on both the NFC and the AFC going forward, trying to figure out where they're going to draft you. So I guess my question is going back to the Combine. So what was the interview process? I guess because everybody wants to know how those interviews kind of go. Were they stressful to you, or were they kind of just like easy breezy? I was able to kind of get through it and answer all the questions without any problem.
It was a little of both. Some teams make you get on the board, learn a play right then and there, and then you got to repeat it back to them, like at the end of the meeting. That wasn't too hard because that was like an easy thing, like board work, and just learning new plays was easy to me. And some of the meetings was just relaxed, and like they were just asking questions about the background, your family, and then they got into football. Like they would bring up clips of your past year and ask you about what was going on a certain play.
All right. Well, I think that's all we've got here for you today, but we really do appreciate you calling in. I know that takes time out of you guys' day, and we do appreciate you calling in and talking with us and kind of giving the listeners more of a perspective from a draft prospect, how that affects you guys on a daily basis and kind of the daily things you guys go through. So, but we do appreciate you calling in.
No problem.
All right. Well, good luck, and we'll be watching the draft for sure, and hoping that you get to maybe one of our favorite teams and help us as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Good luck, DJ.
Good luck, DJ.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again to DJ Moore, wide receiver for the Maryland Terrapins, coming in today and talking on the Fantasy Draft Table segment sponsored by Fantasy Football. We really appreciate him coming by and taking time out of his day. But let's get into what everybody's here for, the way too early wide receiver rankings. Let's get right into that.
Way too early rankings, wide receivers.
All right, way too early rankings, wide receivers presented by FCFL. The fan-controlled football league is making fantasy football a reality. Like a real-life version of Madden, fans will vote on all personnel decisions and play calls in real life. And what the fans say goes. Visit FCFL.io to learn more. The FCFL, where you're in control. All right, let's get into our way too early rankings. First one out the gate, a consensus. Number 1, Antonio Brown. Shocking.
Duh. I mean,
I really thought there was going to be one of us. I'm not going to lie. I thought one of us was going to put DeAndre Hopkins at 1. I really thought there was going to be one of us.
I was tempted, but Antonio Brown's numbers are too consistent.
You can't count out Brown.
Well, I know. You can't. And especially with the situation going forward, I think he's just going to continue to – he's going to be Ben's guy until Ben's no longer there. So,
Agree.
Number 2 across the board is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, consensus, surprisingly enough. Another one. I feel like I should have had another one drop, but anyways.
No, again, with Watson coming back, I think that'll help Hopkins. But they don't have Tom Savage anymore.
Oh, my goodness. Garbage
Right.
time. No,
So
that's
if Watkins was to go down, I mean, who knows? Because only Savage threw to DeAndre
well,
Hopkins.
so did the other guys. I mean, they only threw to Hopkins. So
Well, I
we'll
guess they're
see.
fine then.
At least Hopkins is fine. But anyways, let's see. I guess my biggest thing is going into next year with Watson. Let's just say Watson plays 16 games. Do you think Hopkins has the potential to jump Antonio Brown at the end of the year?
Possibly, yes.
If Hopkins plays all 16, obviously, and Watson plays all 16. I mean, when it was Watson and Hopkins, I mean, they were lighting
That's
it
what I'm
up.
saying. If they can keep up the momentum they had going last year, when they were putting up like 45 points a game,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But who knows?
it's a lot of what ifs, I guess you could say. But
I mean, he's going to be a big part of that offense, so I think he'll be fine. And be honest, with Brown, it kind of goes with Roethlisberger. I mean, if he stays healthy, he's on the field. I mean, he's his go-to guy.
And Bell.
true.
If they don't have a run game, I mean, you can game plan for Antonio Brown and take him away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, Juju's in there somewhere though now. So
Cool.
all right, man.
Yeah.
Now number 3 consensus. Just kidding. It's not the number 3 across the board. It's actually I've got him at 3. Trimboli's got him at 3, and Blackburn's got him at 5. Now last week, post recording, a video surfaced of him with a blunt in his hand, some lines of cocaine, and
A pizza that looked really good.
shout out to
Maybe
Pizza
I'm
Hut
just
on that
hungry.
one.
Maybe I'm just hungry, but that pizza looked good.
I don't know. I mean, you have lines of cocaine. You have a blunt in his hand. He's got pizza on the bed. Sponsored Pizza Hut, the new NFL sponsor.
You get some of that stuffed crust.
He's got some sort of female with him, and you're just like, really? I mean, and the thing is, like, an Instagram model was the one that leaked it. It's like, apparently she's not your friend.
No, do you want that money?
So, well, if he's going to even play, well, there has not been anything come out as of yet from the NFL. Now the Giants have said yes, we're aware of the situation. Well, I hope so. If you've
still
not
not
lived under a rock for the
Right.
past week,
It's
you
not
know.
a good look. Not a good look.
Nah, it's a complete misunderstanding. Come on, guys.
Yeah, a complete misunderstanding. He looked like he was having a misunderstanding sitting there. No, he didn't know he was being filmed. That's the only difference.
Right.
But I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I would say that he's got a free pass because there's no proof of him doing any of the drugs that are in the picture. But we've seen Roger Goodell not have proof for other incidences and pretty much throw the book at you. So
I'm pretty sure there might have been a drug test involved somewhere.
I'm sure there probably will be one if it hasn't already concurred. So,
Right.
But I mean, there's no knowing exactly when that video actually was taken and everything else. So, anyway, so I'd say if he doesn't play for, we'll just say minimum 3 games, I think that drops him a couple of spots. But ultimately, I think he's still going to be a top 10 wide receiver, even if he misses a couple games.
Well, it's all when the suspension, if it comes down. I mean, if he appeals it, I mean, we could see what happened with Zeke,
Right.
where he could be fine this year, could affect next year, if there's anything.
Right.
So
Well, yeah.
I just haven't been impressed with the Giants' offense in the past.
Well, given they do now have a legit left tackle and it's not a screen door coming through.
I still don't think that. I mean, that helps a little bit, but the rest of the offensive line's garbage too.
Well, it is, but I mean, I think that's maybe one of their strong points. If they're bringing Eli back, which it sounds like that's going to be their guy this next year, they're going to have to protect him, and I think that's what they showed when they brought in Nate Solder.
Solder, very good.
See, learning. So Nate Solder, and they're going to probably move whoever. Flowers, I guess, over to right
the
tackle.
bench.
Oh, right, not right tackle, right over to the
Like keep going. Like he
No.
moves over to the right tackle, and they're like, "No, we
No.
need you to keep going
No.
to that little silver bench over there."
We said right, not
There you
right
go.
tackle, right
Yep.
off the field, please.
He can hold that down.
Now, and there's been a rumor that they're going to potentially take the kid, that top draft offensive lineman out of Notre Dame as well, to solidify that left side.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, that'd be nasty.
if they can get something, because let's be honest, the Eagles continue to get better defensively, specifically defensive line. The Redskins already have a young, good defensive line that's going to be hopefully healthy.
And they just signed Zach Brown to a 3-year extension, which I'm happy about.
Right. So I'm just saying the defenses, at least two of the teams that they're going to have to play twice, not the Cowboys. Well, Cowboys are getting a good defensive line back finally. They're going to all be healthy and or off suspension, Randy Gregory. But anyways, yeah, so we'll see. But I mean, I think Odell is a product of Eli having time to throw the ball. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Eli did not have time last year, and I guess the Brandon Marshall experience didn't really pan out. Evan Ingram pretty much solidified his spot going forward, if anything. So, but yeah, so going on to number 4, we got Michael Thomas. I've got him at 4. Blackburn's got him at 3, and Trevoli's got him at 5. So we're respectively right around the same, I guess, area. Do you think that I mean, they're not bringing any other wide receivers in. It doesn't sound like there was talks that they might try to bring in Jordy, but he's now signed with the Raiders. So my question is, does Michael Thomas pretty much still solidify himself as like the only true threat in that offense? Or, I mean, there's other offensive threats.
Well, Breeze, I mean, he's always been known to spread the ball around. That's
True.
kind of why I have dropped him, to 5, is because we don't know every week if he's the number 1 option. It all depends on the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, but they've made it very clear that they're going to continue to work with Ingram and Kamara out of the backfield, and Kamara has shown that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, run the slot. I mean, he can line up pretty much anywhere you put him on the field. So,
Well, that's my main thing. I mean, that run game came out of nowhere last year. In the past, we were used to seeing Breeze throws 60 times, between 45, 50 times a game.
right.
That's dropped to like 25, 30. And
Right.
he had to lean so much on that run game, which, great.
It worked out. I mean, and Ted Ginn showed up. I
Right.
mean, he
Ted
he
Ginn
came back out of the woodworks, and I mean,
I like Michael Thomas a lot.
I just feel like they need a good tight end in that offense, and I think that would literally be like solidify that offense. It's not bad now. I think it's still a top 5 offense. I just think that with that tight end, like, it would have been nice to have Jimmy Graham there, but it didn't work out. Obviously, he went with Green Bay, so I'm just saying I think that they could still bring in a good tight end.
Kobe
Well,
Fleener, though.
I thought maybe they might reach out for like Tyler Eifert or something like that, but he's now signed back.
Well, they
with
want
the
people who can probably play.
Yeah, stay healthy.
rough crowd. All right, so on to number 5, Mr. I just got a lot of money contract, Mike Evans. I've got him at 5. Blackburn, you've got him at 4, and Trimboli's got him at 7. So Trimboli, why, since you've got him at 7? I mean, it's not like that big of a jump from 4 to 7, but
No, it's just a personal issue with me. He burned me last year. No,
mine is because I dislike him as a person. So you will be outside my top 5 for personal reasons.
Just again, I just don't know what that offense. I don't know what they're doing yet.
Well,
So-
nobody does. I don't think they know.
So
I mean-
he's just not consistent. I guess that was my big issue. And when you want someone in your top 5, I want him to be pretty consistent, which is kind of a surprising way.
Well, I don't.
Next-
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say our next guy isn't higher.
Yeah, well, I don't blame Mike Evans. I blame Winston
Jameis,
and the
Winston,
offensive line.
and Dirk Cutter.
Sure.
Because they brought in Deshaun Jackson. They drafted O.J. Howard. They had Cameron Brate, who they just extended. And they had the leading wide receiver from the year before, 2016,
Yeah.
Mike Evans. There's no reason that offense shouldn't have dominated. But they started off slow.
Dougie Fresh took time, and he never really took off.
Yeah, he was suspended for the first quarter of the season anyway. And then when he came back, he was non-existent. Jameis Winston was battling injuries all season.
I mean, the best options in that offense ended up being like Cameron Brate and O.J. Howard. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, Mike
tight
Evans
ends.
didn't have horrible year, but he wasn't like his superb, like
No.
his top-notch years that he's had in the past. But still,
Yeah, Cameron Brate, I think.
who just signed
he
a
had great
contract?
year. Yeah, he was extended.
So-
so I think having a full season together, with everybody, I think getting Doug Martin out of there, getting some new younger guys in there, and hopefully beefing up that offensive line, they can get back to the Mike Evans of 2016 because he's too talented not to be in that top 5.
Well, they must think he's talented because they gave him some money. So
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like for fantasy purposes, we need him to produce.
yeah, he can't be coming in being like, outside the top 12 every other week, and
Yeah,
you need
that's-
him being top like 8 every week to be really worth where his ADP is. I mean, he's a first-round draft pick most of the week, most drafts. I mean, unless you're in some weird league, but most standard, even PPR leagues, he's going to be a first round. Even in 12-man leagues, even more so, he's going to be a top 10 pick probably in your fantasy draft. So, just saying,
I agree.
it'll be interesting.
On to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati. AJ Green, I've got him at 6. You've got him at 9. Blackburn, and Trimboli's also got him at 6. No, I'm not a homer. I'm not a Bengals fan, but I think his talent level is there. Unfortunately, it's the people who play around him that are less than talented. So if it was just solely on talent alone, he would be top 5 for me. But unfortunately, because of the fact that Andy Dalton is throwing the ball, you have Tyler Eifert, who just got signed, and he can't stay healthy. Joe Mixon's now officially, hopefully, going to be the lead back. I mean, there's a lot of the O-line is the question mark for that, and that's the biggest thing.
That's the key, because when Andy Dalton has time to throw, he can throw.
Yeah.
He's running for his life. I mean, as soon as they hike the ball, he's either on his back or he's scrambling around.
Right.
AJ Green doesn't even have time to run his routes.
True.
I mean, you see, how many 50-50 balls does he go out and he catches them? So, I mean, he still has that talent, and I'm just wondering how much longer he's really going to want to stick around in a consistently losing team. I mean, team that just either approaches the cusp of being good, but then falls short, or gets to the playoffs and just pretty much bottoms out. I mean, that's pretty much been the career of the Bengals, or his tenure at the Bengals has been pretty much that exactly. We're
Right.
great. We're top of our division. We go out, we get beat by Houston. We go out the next year, get beat. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but a lot of guys could say that. I guess for him, he's a big part of that offense. He's the kind of guy I look for in drafts because he's a volume guy, and you know he's going to get maybe double-digit receptions. He's there. That's how much he's valued in that offense. He's not totally touchdown dependent,
Yeah.
No.
and that's what you look, especially in standard league, but in PPR, I mean, he's a monster.
True. So, well, I mean, I'm hoping for the Bengals' sake in general. I think I'm hoping that they figure out this offensive line issue, because otherwise those offensive players are going to be hard to.
Yeah, they don't have time.
Yeah.
So, number 7, Julio Jones. I've got him at 10. Blackburn's got him at 6, and Trimboli's got him at 4. The best way I can put it is I just, as long as Steve Sarkisian is your offensive coordinator, I have a hard time really giving him a whole lot of
Yeah.
guess props.
I mean, we could see that they definitely emphasized the running backs last year, but he made an effort to come out and say that they were going to try to throw the ball more, which they should. I mean, Julio Jones is arguably the best physical wide receiver in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I mean
Agree.
he's a physical specimen out there for the wide receiver group for sure. I mean he's like a LeBron James for wide receivers. I guess you could put him in like he's just a man among boys out there. So, but I have a hard time with Steve Sarkisian being that offensive coordinator really giving Julio, and it's not Julio's issue. It's the way that they use him, and I mean they went away from him a lot more towards the year as the year went along. I mean, they just didn't feed him as much as he had in the past. I mean, it reflected on Matt Ryan's, passing yards and his
Yeah, they were the
attempts
number one
and-
offense 2 years ago, and they dropped significantly.
Right, just because of an offensive coordinator. Now, Freeman and Coleman improved their fantasy, what do you want to call it? Their stock, but I don't know. I just have a hard time. I mean, that's my personal opinion as to why I put him at 10.
I mean, the last 3 years, I was just looking it up. He's been in the top 6.
Yeah.
So even last year we started slow, and then all of a sudden he just tore it up at the end.
Right. I mean,
Well, I think they started to realize that, hey, we're missing this.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, maybe I'm on my own island with this. I just have a hard time putting him in inside the top 10.
That's why it's the
Way too early.
too early ranking.
So, number 8, Keenan Allen. I've got him at 7. Blackburn's got him at 8, and so does Trimboli got him at 8 as well. So, relatively similar in that way. But he's proved that as long as he's healthy, he's good.
Yeah, he came. I was wary with him last year because he came off that injury or whatever.
Right.
But he did well last year.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
he did really well. I mean, honestly,
As long as Phillip Rivers is back here, he's gonna.
this is
Sling
also
it.
true. And Gordon's back, and I think that there's no real telltale as to what Antonio Gates is doing. So maybe
It's Hunter Henry time
Yeah,
there.
definitely Hunter Henry.
I'm hoping that it finally
Yeah.
Gates kind of does the nice little like chalant tip the cap, I'm out.
Right.
Rises to the sunset, I'm out. But who knows at this point. But Keenan Allen, he very much has shown that he, as long as he is healthy and Phillip Rivers is healthy, that they can pretty much do that Keenan Allen could do really well for that offense. And we'll see what Mike Williams does as well. I mean, if he kind of helps contribute some, but
He's strictly health. Keenan Allen, that's it.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, he's a top 10 guy.
so true. And then number 9, Devontae Adams. I mean,
He's my dark horse for top 5 this year.
I would get on board with that one as well, just for the simple fact that there's no Jordy now.
Exactly.
So that Jordy and, like you said, Jordy and Rodgers really had that kind of like on and off the field kind of like paired off type of thing going. But now that there's not, I mean.
Well, I think Jimmy Graham's going to clog a lot in the middle now, and a lot of defenses are going to be looking for him, especially safeties, which is going to leave one-on-one coverages for Devontae Adams.
True. I mean, let's be honest. Jimmy Graham is probably the best tight end that they've had there in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, Jermichael Finley was okay. I mean, he wasn't bad, but
he's the best one they've had since Jermichael Finley.
True. So I think this is going to be interesting. And everybody I've seen on Twitter and Facebook and different like blogs and stuff like that just saying, hey, well, he doesn't do well with tight ends. Tight ends never excel with Mike McCarthy and never does excel well with Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback. It's like, well, yeah, but they're not Jimmy Graham. Not that Jimmy Graham's like the lead of the elite tight ends, but he is a top 5 tight end in my opinion. So
Spoiler alert, he's going to be number 2 in mine.
Spoiler alert, he is number 2 as well in mine. So please show up and watch next week's show. That was just
or listen, whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
I guarantee he won't be 2 in mine.
No?
No.
Oh.
I feel a little love, but not that much love.
Not that much love. I only bumped him up. I had him at 3, and then I bumped him up 2 once he got signed by Green Bay. But Devontae Adams, I mean, he balled out last year, and he really kind of stepped into his own. And I think
they just paid him too, so he's the future there.
Right, and I think that by them, I just think that they're going to going forward. I think that he's, like you said, going to be the guy. So we'll see. I mean, there's nobody else in that offense to really compete against him. So
Yeah. Again, he's going to have a ton of volume, and that's what you want.
very much so. So number 10, Brandon Cooks. I've got him at 9. Blackburn's got him at 11. Trimboli's got him at 10. So respectively, right around the same. He excelled with Brady as his quarterback. So I think going forward, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. You never know who Brady's going to throw the ball to.
That's true. And I think his arm, I mean, he still got it, but
It's
Brandon
not
Cooks
as-
is down the field guy.
Well,
Right.
and I guess my biggest thing is, I guess you could move him down some because without Nate Solder there, that was the staple of that
Well,
offensive
even with
line.
Nate Solden there, Brady was getting hit a lot last
Right.
year.
So I'm just saying he's not. That was their best offensive lineman. Let's be honest. On their front 5, that was their best guy, and they were still getting hit. So my question is, who do they replace him with?
I forget the guy's name.
Adrian Waddle
Waddle.
Waddle
That's
was the
it.
one
Yeah,
that
Waddle.
they talked about, and then
That's
there was
who they're
another
talking
guy.
about.
I mean,
'Cause
and
he had 4 starts last year.
He did really well when he started. I mean,
Right.
he was a pretty solid piece, and one of our good buddies of the show actually represents him. So I've talked to him briefly about it, and he said that that's who they're looking potentially at for the future.
I heard
so
that too.
That's a good thing, though. I mean, if he can come in and shore up, I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of pressure in my mind. Maybe because I'm not a football player, but that's a lot of pressure as a left tackle. I mean, you are the blind side for Tom Brady for 2 reasons that scares me. One, you've got Tom Brady's life in your hand, because if you blow a block and he gets destroyed and something, knock on wood, hurts him for like he's done career-wise. I mean, I know he's at the end of his career, whatever, but still, you don't want that on your conscience. And also, that's a lot of pressure in your mind that you're now. Tom Brady's probably not going to let you slide if you miss a coverage or you miss a block. He's probably going to be in your face. So having Tom Brady get in your face and yell at you, telling you that you suck at blocking on that play, where was your head at?
Well, if I'm the Patriots, I'd be looking at a quarterback.
Maybe.
They need one.
They definitely do after they got rid of Jimmy G last year, if you weren't listening or living under a rock. So, yeah.
Isn't Hoyer there?
Yeah, that's why I said they need to go get a quarterback.
The future right there.
The future. All right, numbered 11, Doug Baldwin. I've got him at 11. Blackburn's got him at 13, and Trimboli's got him at 13. I see you guys are pairing up again.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So
He cheats.
He cheats off of me. Doug Baldwin, now he pretty much is the only option, I guess,
Well,
in the
with
passing.
Paul Richardson gone, they still got Lockett and Lockett.
I mean, off the top of my head, that's immediately the only guy I can really think of. But I mean, offensively, they cut Rawls.
Rawls, yep.
So they got rid of Rawls. They really are big on this Carson.
I mean, he looked good last year until he got hurt.
True. And then
But they lose Jimmy Graham. That hurts a lot.
And that was a red zone threat, in my opinion, and some
A
of those
lot.
short yard catches. And then Paul Richardson was a big deep threat. I mean, so
And they haven't brought anybody really in. I mean, I think they said Jerron Brown was taking a visit up there from Arizona.
yeah. So like I said, I just still think that Doug Baldwin on nothing alone more than just volume. And as
Yeah.
long as Russell Wilson is healthy, he's going to be the main guy, being nothing but volume. So we'll see. But
He's still a safe play.
true. Rounding out top 12. So our wide receiver ones we're rounding out is going to be Adam Thielen. And I've got him at 12. Blackburn's got him at 17, and Trimboli's got him at 12. So I know why I have him at 12. Why do you have him, I guess, at 17?
Okay, first off, nothing against Adam Thielen. We all know if you listen to the show, I love Adam Thielen.
You did call out his top 5 last year, so
But he's going. He's not going anywhere. Kirk Cousins went to Minnesota.
and as a Minnesota fan, you're not too keen on not Case Keenum keen, but
Well, I'm a Washington fan. But anywho, Kirk Cousins, I think is going to happen. The same thing that happened in Washington with Crowder, Dotson, and Pryor, Pierre Garçon, and Deshaun Jackson. None of their receivers were in the top 25 ever. They were all right around that 30 range because he spreads the ball around so much. So I think the same thing is going to happen here. You're going to have
you got Diggs, Thielen,
Thielen, Jarius Wright. They're all
Rudolph.
Yeah, they're all going to be right there together, but not one of them's going to be higher than the other, I don't think. So that's why I have them dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
Case Keenum solely triggered in on Adam Thielen.
True.
Diggs had a couple good games where he broke some big plays for touchdowns, but it was mainly Adam Thielen that got all the targets.
Well, what do you know?
Well, I guess it's wait and see.
Hopefully he pans out, because that would be really disappointing from a fantasy perspective if all the wide receivers in Minnesota just fell off the board. What do you got?
Eric Ebron's visits.
Yeah.
Carolina Friday, Colts on Sunday, New England Patriots on Monday.
He'll be a Patriot. Just like everyone else in the league.
Well, who'd they just bring in last year?
Dwayne Allen from the Colts.
So
Because Gronk's still not
100% on. He's still on
coming
the fence.
back. So, I mean, Eric Ebron would be nasty.
Hey, Gronk's got that WWE contract. Come
Yeah,
on.
he does with that
He's got
Ronda
that
Rousey.
future.
Let's see, number 13, new Cleveland wide receiver Jarvis Landry. I've got him at 15. Blackburn's bringing in the rear at 21.
Back it up.
Feel a lot of respect here.
Got a lot of respect for that Jarvis guy.
Cleveland, that's why.
And then Trimboli's got him at 11. So, wow, I feel like I don't want to put you on the spot again, Blackburn, but 21,
We're going to go ahead and do it.
21.
Look, I wasn't a big fan of Jarvis Landry in Miami.
But he had no quarterback.
Okay, I'm not a fan of Tyrod Taylor, as we all know.
This is true.
So now you bring Cleveland and Tyrod Taylor
Oh
together?
man, you just put a combo meal right there together. Blackburn is not partaking in that feast.
Nope. I mean, I don't know. We nobody knows how it's going to end up.
No.
But for right now, I got him sitting right there. You got
Fair enough.
Josh Gordon right there. I think he'll actually be better than Jarvis Landry
True. Well, we'll see.
if he stays on the field.
True.
True.
All right. Well, let's see. Tyreek Hill, we got him at 14. I got him at 13. Blackburn 10, and Trimboli's at 14. So
Yeah.
we got that going. And then rounding out top 15 is Alshon Jeffrey. Anyways, on that note, sorry, I'm not an Eagles fan. 14 for me, Blackburn's 14, and Triboli's got him at 15. So I think we skipped over Tyreek Hill. I think he's going to be the biggest beneficiary there with that offense. Mahomes is going to
Just Pat Mahomes, yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Just look out for Mahomes.
Look it out for Mahomes. Mahomes boy.
Make sure Hill doesn't drop the ball, then he'll
Got
be
a
fine.
cannon.
He's got a cannon on arm, like a Josh Allen cannon. Just want to tell you guys, thank you for listening and watching today, for tuning in to today's show. And thank you to DJ Moore for joining us as well and the Fantasy Draft Table presented by Fantasy Fateball. Please check out our website, www.thehateful8ff.com, where you can check out the articles, apparel, and so much more. Follow our personal accounts at jpickleTH8FF, at jblackburnTH8FF,
Yeah.
and at FTRIM TH8FF. Don't forget to join the average donation via our Patreon account. And I guess that's all we got for today.
Yes, sir. It is.
That's a wrap.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys. And we will see you next week.
There ain't no one like these three. You know you just heard Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli. Give the goods talking about nothing but fantasy football. Yeah, it's your year to dominate and to wear that ring. Prepare for the draft and dial in on your craft. Quarterback the first round is a good choice, you ask? This guy's got first round pick a favorite? Not so fast. He failed to tune into Hateful Eight. He